Hello and welcome. In today's video, we are going to talk about the General Studies paper of Prelim 2020. Those who are writing the Preliminary Examination 2020 are already aware the extraordinary circumstances under which this examination is being held. There is one question hovering in most of the candidates' mind. Is the Prelim 2020 question paper going to be any different from the last few years' paper? It is a very logical step of everyone's preparation that towards the final stages of preparation, we take a look on the previous year's question and we try to understand and assimilate the pattern, and we generally presume that the pattern is going to be followed. Even though the UPSC has been fairly experimentative with the prelim examination paper, there are certain things which are followed, which are continued from year after year. But is 2020 going to be different? Nobody can make a certain prediction. After all, we are only teachers and we are not going to set the question paper for the UPSC. But then there are certain factors to be considered. One of the big factors that is to be considered is the extraordinary crisis that is confronting the humanity, the entire world, and very certainly our own country. That is COVID-19 pandemic, and this is such a big issue that it will be impossible to ignore it for the UPSC. So very certainly the COVID-19, its scientific basis, needs to be known in all possible dimensions. But then if you look a little closely, this crisis has impacted many other areas of general studies. If you look at it, it has affected polity and governance. It has affected welfare and social justice. When you think of migrant crisis, it pretty much pertains to demography, migration, and also welfare of the marginalized groups. Similarly, there have been a number of ordinances which fall squarely in the field of polity. Then governance of schemes, governance of different laws, so on. So that has been impacted. Economy has taken a huge hit by this crisis. Most of the sectors of economy are confronting a shrinkage, are confronting a recession. There has been massive joblessness, and this also cannot be ignored when we look at the possible question paper. Then we have got environment. So in the initial days, there is a certain improvement in the quality of environmental indices. The air quality improved, the water pollution receded, carbon emission was less. And certainly a lot of policy makers are now exploring for the ways how we can sustain similar momentum. Can we learn from this crisis on how do we go about mitigating the environmental crisis? So perhaps some of the potential questions are hidden there also. And then we cannot discount the fact that the examination is taking place at a very late point of time. So UPSC, which is known to set its question papers fairly late, it is going to have an impact upon the composition of the paper. All of these things that we have discussed, and combined with the delay in the examination, you can pretty much expect that the events which have unfolded between February until the end of August are certainly going to feature in the examination. So these are some of the changes which are perhaps expected in this year's prelim examination. To get a sense of what these changes can be all about in a little more specific terms, and also to understand how you should go about the preparation and how we can change this crisis into an opportunity for our mains examination preparation, we had a conversation with Sri Ashok Singh sir this morning. Sir absolutely needs no introduction, having been one of the senior most and one of the most prolific teachers in the field of civil service training for more than 3 decades, and having had guided more than 3,500 students to success, which includes 9 All India top rankers, he certainly needs no introduction. He remains an avid reader, deeply interested into polity, economy, technology, and how they impact and shape our life and our world today. So it is now your turn to get benefited by his insight, where he guides you about how this preparation for prelims should be oriented, how this prelim is likely to be different from the past years, and why it is going to be different. So let us head over to that conversation. But in advance, I would like to apologize for a little poor video quality and audio quality, because we had this conversation on an online chat using Google Meet, And because of bandwidth issues, because of technical limitations, the audio quality suffered. So it is not as smooth as it appears right now. But when you persist through the video, ignoring some noise in the audio quality, you will stand to gain a lot. So now let's start with the conversation. Sir, I would like to know from you that this year's prelim examination is taking place at a very unusual date and certainly under very unusual circumstances. So before we get into what unusual we can expect to see in the prelim paper, sir, first thing I would like to know from you that in your experience, what have been conventionally the most vital or high yield areas for the preliminary general studies?
See, first let us look at that unusual nature of the exam this year. See, normally the mains would have been taking place in September or October. This year we're going to have prelims, and that too I think we should remember that there's probably some degree of uncertainty even about the October exam. Because the way the corona epidemic is growing, we have not managed to stabilize the situation. So it's quite possible that even October may have to be pushed back. Well, that would depend on the situation in the country in September. Now, this, in some ways, I think this has upended the entire preparation for the exam, not only for the students, but also for the UPSC. See, they were also under lockdown, their interviews were postponed. They would have found it very difficult to hold meetings of their experts. Normally they have physical meetings and deciding their papers, etc. This year all that would have become difficult. They would be doing it online. Uncertainty about the date will also mean uncertainty about the questions, because UPSC prepares its questions at a very late stage, about 4 to 5 weeks before the examination date. So in that sense, you would have uncertainty even regarding the questions that they will be including this year. Now, conventionally, what would a student be doing in the last couple of months? Let's imagine that exam takes place in the first week of October as scheduled. So students would now have about 2 months and a week or so, or a week and a half. Conventionally, they would be focusing on current affairs, contemporary issues, reviewing some of their areas that they studied earlier, areas of knowledge that they have acquired over a period of time. So in that sense, 2020, in that sense, remember, is no different. But in other ways, it would be quite different. And I'd like to put it this way. What would be normally the ending point for preparation for current affairs and contemporary affairs, this year now becomes the starting point. The budget. Let's take an example of the budget. The budget was being discussed in February. Normally that is the high water mark for Indian economy. The proposals of the budget, the programs that have been taken up, the taxation related measures. This year, the corona crisis has upended the budget completely. The budget is now virtually irrelevant. Virtually, I would say it's completely irrelevant, but it is virtually irrelevant. The fiscal deficit and other things, all these figures are meaningless. The growth rates that were being discussed in January is no longer meaningful. Now we have a lot of other economic programs, initiatives that are far more important than the budgetary proposals. So students who would have normally ended their preparation with the budget and related aspects, in some ways will now be starting from the budget and looking at the departures from the budget that are taken place till now and are going to be taking place in the next couple of months. So this is the sense in which things have changed completely. UPSC would also, in setting its paper, obviously they would not be disregarding the atmosphere and the environment in which everybody is working. and the various aspects of this crisis and how they have affected almost every aspect of life. So one could expect both direct as well as indirect impact on the question papers that are going to be set by the UPSC. I think this is broadly the framework in which students should also be conducting their preparations.
So, sir, I would like to know from you that the sense that I get from the picture you just now shared with us, that in this year's question paper we can see certain degree of novelty compared to the previous year's paper, and there will be questions directly, indirectly influenced by the circumstances which have unfolded after January 2020. So, sir, would you agree with that? And can you give us a sense what areas of general studies are most likely to be impacted by this?
See, I'm in full agreement with what you're saying, that this is going to be the scenario in the question paper. And as far as the areas are concerned, I think you have to treat that in a very broad manner. It's, let me put it this way. Even questions on history, for example, may be influenced by what's happened now. There have been historical examples of pandemics in the past, like the Spanish flu going back to 1918 and its impact. Now, it's quite conceivable that you may have questions pertaining to the Spanish flu directly or indirectly. Indirectly, as an example, the 1921 census and the demographic data pertaining to the 1911-21 decade, why that was very different from the trends earlier as well as later. And that was also a pandemic-related scenario. So a subject, an area like history, which one would normally imagine is not going to be affected by what's happening now, the questions pertaining to history will definitely get affected. But other areas, polity, constitution, these areas are going to be dramatically affected. Partly because of the legal changes that have taken place, variety of ordinances have been issued. Partly because of the way in which laws are being used now. Partly because of the way in which institutions are redefining their role. The Supreme Court, for example, and other judicial institutions. They are also redefining not only their working, but to some extent their role. New controversies are emerging. So all this would obviously influence the selection of questions pertaining to polity and constitution. Economics, this is obvious, because I've already explained that economic impact of the pandemic and the measures taken to deal with the pandemic have changed not only India, but the entire world. Growth scenario worldwide is now very different from what it was in January 2020. So economics is obviously going to be a critical area where huge changes are taking place and which are going to be reflected in the question papers. Science and technology is an obvious area because ultimately the virus has to be studied scientifically. Dealing with the virus also requires science and technology and a variety of areas of technology. So it's not just, say, biotechnology and life sciences, but even think of something like the role of IT in dealing with the corona crisis, contact tracing, for example. The apps that have been developed worldwide, not just in India, by the way. The Google, Apple apps developed in many other countries, and how they are working. What is the basis of their working? So all these types of things will become important for students in studying science and technology. Environment is another area which is undergoing dramatic changes. The quality of the environment improved significantly. We had much lower levels of carbon emissions this year. And a lot of people feel that this is an opportunity to bring about broader changes in environmental policy worldwide. in order to try to lock in some of the benefits that we've seen in recent past. So almost every area of general studies, including history, and for that matter geography also, are likely to be influenced by the pandemic and the response to the pandemic.
So, sir, to make it clear for the students, as I understand it, and I'm just rephrasing it, that while the candidate should keep consolidating what he or she has already done, conventionally the things which are to be done for the prelim, but at the same time the candidate will need to broaden the topic base of his preparation so as to include these topics directly or indirectly related to the present crisis. So, am I understanding it correctly, sir?
Yes, yes. Obviously, the base that they have built up over a period of time, that base continues to be relevant. Students who studied history and culture, there would be questions pertaining to history and culture. But there are certain areas which would not be traditionally emphasized. Non-history students, that means those who do not have history as an optional subject, would normally not be looking, for example, in great detail at things like the Spanish flu, the Black Death, etc., and what was the historical impact of these pandemics. Now, in the present context, these can become significant even for general studies, not only for those who have an optional subject of history. So that is the sense in which things change. You need to bring in a lot of topics which would traditionally not be covered or not be considered very significant for general studies, and now try to cover them in the changed context.
And sir, now that we have got a basic sense of what are the things one needs to add to one's prelim preparation, could you please give us an idea how to include these topics? So, an average candidate who is watching this video, so what should be his method to include such topics to his existing preparation base, sir?
Obviously, candidates would have been reading the papers, reading things on it. From the news, certain patterns would have emerged. Let's focus on one area. Let's think about the equality and constitution. Measures that have been taken by the central government and by the state governments are laws of the Indian Epidemic Act of the 19th century. To try to understand how does the colonial period law continue to be operative in post-independence India? What is the status? How does it relate to the constitution? So merely knowing some of the provisions of the Epidemics Act is not going to be adequate for the prelims. They would need to have a much deeper understanding in terms of the relevance, the relationship of these laws to the Indian Constitution, and how they have been reinterpreted. What is the judiciary stand on these laws? And another point which I think also needs to be emphasized is that, you see, now there are about 2.5 months left for the prelims. In fact, less than 2.5 months for the prelims. Once the prelims are over in the first week of October, there will be exactly 3 months left for the main exam. Now, a serious student, cannot afford to let only the prelims influence his preparation, even in these last 2.5 months. He has to keep at least one eye open from the viewpoint of the mains. Many of these topics will have relevance for the mains. They will have repercussions in the main exam also. So at this stage itself, the serious student should be looking at these topics both in the context of the type of factual aspects which would be asked in the prelims and the more analytical and critical aspects that are likely to arise in the main examination. So they need to identify these areas and topics and work on both aspects. The essential factual things which would constitute the prelims questions, particularly the multiple selection format type of questions, as well as the possible questions that could be framed from the viewpoint of GS paper 2 and 3 particularly, but to a certain extent even paper 1 and 4 in the main examination. Some of these topics will also be relevant for essay writing. So all that must be considered by students who are serious about the exam. I'm re-emphasizing the seriousness. Serious here means that they are not focusing their preparation entirely on the prelims even at this stage, because ultimately the prelims cannot be their main objective. The main objective is to appear in the main examination and go on to appear in the interview and get selected. So the preparation cannot be short-sighted, focused entirely on the prelims. Obviously, the prelims are important. It's the gateway to the main exam. But it is not the end. The end is the selection. I think this is broadly what students should be doing.
Yes, sir. And sir, in the end, I would like to just ask one thing, that you just now advised the students to keep an eye over the possible question areas for the main examination. So when a student is looking at consolidating the prelim as well as to have some preparation for the main, so what should be the time division, if you could suggest?
See, I don't think they need to really think about dividing time. It's ultimately a more integrated or a comprehensive approach. Any topic that they pick up, let's take a concrete example, something from economics, for example. Some of the agricultural reforms that have been carried out through ordinances and other measures in the last couple of months. So a student should get all the facts correct. What are the provisions in the law that existed earlier? What are the provisions that have been modified by the ordinances? How does this affect the state governments, for example? What is the central government role in these areas? These are the types of things that will be important in the prelims. In the main examination, or from the viewpoint of the main examination, the candidate should look at the need for these changes. Whether the need was felt before the pandemic, number one. Number two, how did the pandemic change the situation? Did it bring about new concerns which have led to these ordinances and other changes? Or was it just a question of turning a crisis into an opportunity? See, this was an important theme in India. In 1991, for example, a major economic crisis turned into an opportunity to bring about major economic reforms. Some people have suggested that 2020 can lead to a similar situation 30 years later. Crisis and opportunity. But in some ways, these changes are also linked with the type of problems that have emerged during the last 3 months of the pandemic. So, dividing time, I think, is not the key. The key should be identifying these topics and looking at both aspects. The aspects which would be important from the viewpoint of the prelims, as well as those issues which may be relevant for the main examination in January 2021.
Sir, in the final part of this conversation, I just wanted to get an idea from you that the course that you have planned as an add-on course for prelim examination 2020. So, what are the emphasis areas, or what is the basic strategy and felt need for this course, sir? So, I wanted to know from you.
I'll give you a very brief overview of what we are planning. Changes have been taking place continuously from March onwards. You've had a flood or a deluge of news pertaining to scientific developments, technical changes, economic policy changes, international issues, international relations, crisis between India, China, India, Nepal, even India, Bangladesh very recently, United States, China, European Union and China, worldwide. This is not just India, it's a global impact. Most of the news that is reported each piece of news is treated in isolation. But a lot of these things are linked together. What is happening in the WHO, for example, is linked with assertiveness of China in international relations with respect to Australia or India. So what we wanted to do is to provide a broader perspective where students are able to link these isolated areas, get a better understanding of the way in which the world and our country have changed and are likely to change in the foreseeable future, the consequence of what is happening in 2020. That will help to identify a lot of topics which are important for prelims this year. We'd expect many of the questions to be related to the types of topics that we'll be discussing. At least 50% or more of the questions should be related to the types of topics that we'll be discussing. At the same time, we'll also hope to provide a foundation for the students in tackling the main examination, because we would hope that once they have gone through our program, they should be fairly confident of qualifying for the mains. And so simultaneously using their time to build up their confidence, their preparation level for the main examination. So that is the integrated, comprehensive approach that we'll be adopting. Of course, the focus is primarily on the preliminary examination. So there's a lot of focus on, for example, objective type questions, a variety of objective type questions to illustrate the points that we'll be making. Some tests which will be part of the program. And the areas that we'll be covering will be those areas which have been most influenced by the types of changes that we've seen since January, February 2020, which means particularly polity, constitution and law, economics, international institutions, organizations and international relations, environmental changes and the progress being made in science and technology, particularly in the context of the coronavirus, but in other areas also. So it's a very, very broad, very comprehensive program with primary focus on PT, but trying to also strengthen the position of the students from the viewpoint of the main examination.
So, sir, on that note, I would like to conclude this conversation, and I thank you very much for sparing time and sharing your insight with the students. So, thank you, sir, and have a good day ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks.